To What the Wrestling, the podcast where you break down the biggest moments, hottest takes, and the wildest stories from the world of pro wrestling. Whether you're a diehard fan or just stepping into the squared circle, we're here to give you the real scoop on everything happening in the ring.
I'm your host, RJD, and we're about to take a ride through the latest and greatest in pro wrestling. Get ready for all our hot takes, deep dives, and all the wrestling you never knew you needed.
Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button and join What the Wrestling family so you never miss an episode. Now let's step into the ring.
You're listening to the What the Wrestling podcast, the show that brings you all things wrestling with your host, RJD.
Oh, you already know what time it is. AEW, everybody. AEW, we are about to get into the AEW review on a Thursday afternoon in New York City. Yeah, man. We are about to get into it, but as you already know, I don't want to take up too much of the time, so let's not waste any more of it. Let us go. Let's go. Yes. Tis I, RJD here. Welcome, everyone, to What the Wrestling, the show that brings you all things wrestling. I am your host, RJD, and we are here to talk about AEW as always, as I get my mic fixed. All right, there we go. So, AEW, last night, 3/26/25. I have my thoughts about the show, and I will get into them shortly. But first things first, hit the like button. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel rolling across the bottom of your screen. And follow me, RJD, at What the Wrestling on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. There will be some content going up on TikTok today. Look out for that. You heard me? And there will be some more stuff going up on the What the Wrestling YouTube channel as well as the Facebook channel. So I will, as always, be replying to the first 5 comments on YouTube. I will be responding right away, so look out for that. Not that many people comment on Facebook, so let's get that up, man. Let's get that Facebook up. And as for TikTok, I'll be back on TikTok. I'm going to start putting content on there every day. So look out for that as I sip my coffee. Come on, yo. Us coffee lovers got to stick together. All right. AEW Dynamite. Up and down show. Listen, I'm not one of the people who are going to say, hey, Dynamite absolutely sucks. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit up here and say it absolutely sucks. Shout out to my dog, Isaac. I know he would be like, yo, motherfuckers are just haters, man. They're just hating. Nah, man, I'm not going to do that. But, nope. I'm not going to sit up here and say, hey, Dynamite is just blazing a trail and it's amazing and everything is great and nothing is wrong. No, I ain't that guy. Not at all. So we got to be real. We got to be real when we talk about Dynamite. We got to be real when we talk about SmackDown, about how SmackDown's been lackluster. And we got to be real when we talk about Monday Night Raw and how the build is not the WrestleMania build is not on 100. Now, it piqued our interest with Cena turning heel. Now the future's in the follow-up. The last 2 promos between these two have been meh. We'll see what happens when The Rock comes back and all that other stuff. So we got to keep it real across the board. We got to keep it consistent across the board. Everybody's getting all sensitive. Like, if something is bad and you have a reason behind why you think something is bad, you are well within your right to talk about that. As long as you can substantiate your argument with facts. So what's wrong with that? What are we doing? Y'all, family, wrestling family, this shit's supposed to be fun. Why everybody so goddamn emotional? Everybody so angry, everybody so emotional, everybody so mad. Ah, man. This shit is terrible. Hold on, y'all, 1 second. Sorry about that. Duty calls, and when duty calls, we got to answer the phone. So that was an important call that I could not miss. I apologize for that. We're going to cut that right on out. But what I want to get back to is, listen, we got to keep it consistent across the board. We have to be fair. We have to not be so emotional and angry about this. AEW Dynamite is amazing when it comes to in-ring work. The only problem is some of the stories don't make sense. Some of the stories they drop. Some of the stories, it's like, why is this person feuding with this person? This makes no sense. So we gotta be for real about that. So let's go through some of this. Kenny Omega versus Blake Christian, 5 minutes. V Trigger, one-winged angel. See you later. That was all she wrote. After that, Speedball Mike Bailey comes out to congratulate Kenny, but Ricochet then appears on the Tron. Actually, congrats to Ricochet. Ricochet is now married to Samantha Irvin. Love to see couples getting together. Love to see people getting married. Love to see people happy. So that's awesome. Samantha Irvin, I think there is a place for her. If she wants to be, we don't really want to boost Samantha Irvin. So I don't know if they would ever put them together. But if she was an awesome ring announcer, even though she didn't like ring announcing, she wanted to be a manager and maybe potentially get physical and stuff. So the fact that she was doing something she didn't want to do is and she was great at it, is amazing. That's dope. But shout out to them. They got married and took time away from that to film a vignette talking about how he's coming for the title, pretty much. And Kenny says it's not about making friends. He has a cat. He doesn't need more. As good as Bailey is, and as big of a piece of garbage as Ricochet is, the title and legacy is for him, and he is solidifying that. So he must bid you adieu, goodbye, and good night, bang. And that was that. So, okay, they should have a killer-ass match. I ain't mad at that. Jericho cut a promo backstage with the Learning Tree, basically saying Big Bill and Brian Keith, he has to unmask everybody. And Big Bill and Brian Keith have been under the branches of the Learning Tree for too long without proving themselves worthy. So, if he thinks they're still worthy, they need to go make some drastic changes and prove that to him. They nod, walk off, and Jericho addresses Bandito. He says it's not Gravity's mask he wants. It's Banditos. So listen, Jericho, Bandito, I'm all for it. Big Bill and Brian Keith, I'm all for it. Go figure out, go out there and beat somebody. Yeah. All right. Next, we have MJF. Cue his entrance and his microphone. He comes out and he says he's been thinking about saying Michael Jackson's legacy is more important than that talented hack's Prince legacy, and he got boos from the crowd. Now listen, we ain't finna sit up here and shit on Prince like Prince wasn't talented as F. Like, he was a talented mofo, and the king of pop speaks for itself. So we're gonna stop the cap on that one. We don't got my stop the cap. Oh, I gotta get my stop the cap back, but for now we'll just do stop it and call it a day. But MVP comes out and he says, listen, they're going to talk and they're going to do all that. But before that happens, the Hurt Syndicate comes out and they're like, Bobby Lashley's like, give me the card. He goes like this. MJF is like, hi. And he's like, give me the card. And he's like, and he rips up the card. And it was like,
You stupid.
Bobby Lashley gets in MJF's face and he rolls up out of there. Now Bobby Lashley and MVP, they're going back and they're like, yo, what are you doing? Why are you talking to him? We don't need him. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And he's like, yo, guys, trust me. Like, what are you doing? Trust me. Relax. So they did have a backstage segment where he was like, listen, it's business. We don't gotta like each other. Like, I'm working with MJF because it's business. So we here to do business. So there's that. So they just said, listen, you guys trust me, I trust y'all, and at the end of the day, it's just business. But if you say no, it's no right now. Okay, cool, we'll move on. So that's going to come back up later on, I'm assuming, and this is what I like. MJF, MVP, very good on the mic, both of them. They know each other, there's history there. And then you got Bobby Lashley and Shelton, the OGs, the veterans, my drunk uncles, and as my wife would say, my drunk uncles at the barbecue. And they're like, yo, we don't know this cat. We don't want to rock with him, so we'll see. So I'm all for this. This is great. The Speedball and Ricochet stuff is great. I like it. We know, like, it's never about the work rate when it comes to AEW. It's always about the stories, always. So this was a good start here. Then we had Big Bill when MJF got the hell up out of there. Then we have Big Bill and Brian Keefe said, it's true. They do hurt people, but don't worry. They aren't here for a therapy session. They have real business to attend to. Montel tells Big Bill to quiet his bitch so the men could talk. And Morrissey says they're standing in the ring with their titles, but he doesn't see a challenger. And MVP says he doesn't see one either.
You stupid.
Oh man, listen, the fact that in AEW you could just roll up one day and start talking to the champs, bro, go get you some wins first and then sit up here and talk to the champs. Like the Hurt Syndicate, the team that should beat the Hurt Syndicate is the House of Black. That's the team that's believable enough to beat them right now as it stands. But they haven't built up the House of Black. In fact, we'll get into why I hated Brody King losing a little later. But they keep losing and they haven't built them up. That's the team that should beat the Hurt Syndicate. And it should be at a major pay-per-view. And that tag team title match is going to be crazy. And the crowd is going to go ape shit. And because both these teams people like Brody King because he got over on his own. And people like Buddy Matthews because everybody keeps bigging him up and we know how good he is. So what are we doing? The tag team division in both companies, not good. So, to prove himself, Chris Jericho says he wants a rematch and he wants to take those titles. MVP laughs him off and tells them to go actually win a match and then they might be able to get an opportunity. So that's what I'm saying. People just getting opportunities and they ain't even winning matches. Like, what are we doing here? This is what people go crazy about. So, backstage, we had Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa makes a point that she's coming for her title, but she says right now, we have other business to attend to, and we have the Thunderstorm, and Toni Storm says, we have Thunder Tits. And then after the promo, the crowd starts going, Thunder Tits, Thunder Tits. Amazing. Toni Storm, Don DeMarco. Toni Storm is A1 right now. Like every time she's on screen, I'm like entertained. It doesn't matter what she does, whether she's wrestling, whether she's giving a promo. Like, if this woman wants to go act, go act. Like, she is really showing another. And when this shit started, I really was like, what the hell is this? This Hollywood actress, old school actress. Like, you're taking a bit off of Marilyn Monroe type shit. Like, what is this? But listen, I quickly was like, oh, she's in it. Like, you know how some people are in it? Like, you ever see Randy Orton when he gets in that, he starts hearing those voices and he wants to kick your head off? Toni Storm is in it. It's like, I believe her when she's on screen. Shout out to her, man. Shout out to Toni Storm. Absolutely amazing. Always entertaining. And Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm had themselves a match. And that's coming up later. Brody King and Kyle Fletcher. Let's hit the buttons.
Nope. You stupid.
I'm not saying this match wasn't fantastic, because it was. But why the hell is Brody King losing matches right now? This brother shouldn't be losing jack shit. And this is what I hate. AEW has this thing where I understand they don't want people to lose sometimes. Sometimes they don't want to beat guys, so they do different things. But my thing is this. Brody King has gotten himself over organically. We don't want to boo Brody King. We want him to hurt people. Big, badass looking dude just beating the hell out of people. We actually want the House of Black to get built up so that they can take on the Hurt Syndicate and win. Why do you got this brother losing all the goddamn time? You don't want Kyle Fletcher to lose. Kyle Fletcher needed a win because he lost to Ospreay. That's okay. You couldn't find no one else in the back for him to beat? Nobody. You had to beat Brody King? If he needed a win that bad? Like, what the hell, bro? I don't understand. This was absolutely great. First of all, Kyle Fletcher, very, very strong brother. Very strong brother, because he put him out with a turnbuckle brainbuster, and he had to kind of lift him and turn him and drop him. Kyle Fletcher's a very, very strong brother. Them dudes in the gym, strong. So he wins. Very good match, by the way. Very good match. We did have Mark Davis coming out for the interruption. Post-match, Don Callis family attacked Brody, but Powerhouse Hobbs makes the save, comes through the crowd, makes the save, and went clotheslines everybody out. And then we had a Powerhouse Hobbs Mike Davis match. This match was quote unquote supposed to happen later on, and it happened now. And this match was real quick. Off the rope spine buster. See you later. Thanks for playing. So Powerhouse Hobbs got a win here. Powerhouse. I get it, but the execution in this was, it's like he just came out and then they're like, oh, we're supposed to have a match later. I guess we're gonna have it right now. Okay, great. What the hell does Powerhouse Hobbs have to do with Brody King? Okay, great. So moving on. Nick Wayne is interviewed backstage and says things are starting to make sense now why Christian did what he did at Revolution, and last week just shows how things go when everybody is on the same page and properly executes a plan. Nick and his mom leave Kip Sabian standing awkward for a beat, and then they went to commercial break. I don't know. Nick Wayne has found his cojones. Good for him, but I'm not sure I believe him. Not sure I believe him. So we'll see. Back for commercial, Renee interviews the Hangman, and Swerve comes out of nowhere and says, yo, let me find out you going for my title. And he said, yo, did I stutter, bitch? And what's up with bitch in this? Why is everybody saying bitch? Like, I heard CM Punk say once, if you're going to curse, don't just curse for the sake of cursing. Curse and have it mean something. It don't mean shit when everybody's cursing for no apparent reason. Bitch. You're a bitch. I'm a bitch. Okada says bitch. Jericho says bitch. And Toni Storm says tits. Like, I don't understand. I don't get why Like, I'm all for cursing, but when Cody told Rock, go fuck yourself, that was impactful. It was a curse. It was a curse word, but he said it at the right time when it made sense. He didn't just say bitch for the sake of saying bitch. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. We got to do better, AEW. We got to do better. That's all I'm saying. Then we had to sit down with Cash and Dax. Dax said, basically, this whole thing was, listen, when we started helping you, we got away from the tag team titles, which is what we want. And Cash says, listen, they let all emotions get the better of them, and it's been stuck between them. Everybody knows that Dax and he are best friends, and how close they are to Copeland, and living out their car at one point. And Adam gave him a place to live, so they're close. We get it. And he wants his two best friends to get on the same page. Dax says that's why he's apologizing now, and he wants to go after the Hurt Syndicate. Cass says he thinks there's still something with Rated FTR, and he'd love to go after those Trios titles one more time. Copeland agrees. If there's any juice left in the tank, he'd love to, and he issues a challenge for Dynasty. So we'll see if they go after the Trios titles. We'll see if they do end up getting some wins and challenge the Hurt Syndicate, which I don't think they would win. I don't want them to beat the Hurt Syndicate. I want the House of Black to beat the Hurt Syndicate. That's what I want. So Swerve makes his entrance and he calls out Mox, and they basically have a good back and forth. They have a good back and forth, and he's like, I don't know who the hell you are. This is not Jon Moxley. This is the guy who plays Jon Moxley. I am the most dangerous man in AEW as well. And Jon says, that's cute. That's cute. And they have a good back and forth. And Jon says his sport has been taken over by billionaires and Instagram kids and guys like Strickland give him hope that everything's going to be, everything he put his body through has been for a reason, but he's not just going to give it to him. He's got to see how far he's willing to go and how far Mox is willing to go right now. And that shouldn't be a problem for the most dangerous man in AEW, right? Marina Shafir jumps on the apron with a crowbar, but Willow comes out of nowhere with an iron pipe to neutralize her. And he says, you didn't think somebody could outsmart you? Because his back was towards Marina Shafir and Willow, but he knew what was going on. He said, you didn't think somebody would outsmart you? So he says, I'm going to get that title back in 11 days in Philly. And then Jon says, and then he told Jon, have fun playing Jon Moxley on TV. And Jon gives a nod to the Death Riders to back down, and everybody leaves. And then Willow is going after homegirl, Marina Shafir. And listen, this was a good promo. I pray to God that they take this goddamn title off of Jon Moxley. Let him go on vacation. Let him go on a break. I don't care. Just get the title off him. Samoa Joe and Hook walk backstage, and Hook chokes out Max Caster. Joe chokes out Max Caster. Good for him. And then Switchblade has a promo, and he's entered himself into the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Then we have Alex Finley and Davino Knight versus Top Flight. Top Flight wins with a frog splash by Dante Martin. That boy is bouncy. Shout out to Dante Martin. He got hops, that one right there. The Learning Tree are watching backstage, and I'm assuming they're going to have a fight with Top Flight. They're going to beat Top Flight, and then they're going to lose to the Hurt Syndicate. We got a Will Ospreay hype reel, and then we had Konosuke Takeshita versus Mark Briscoe in a very good match. I love these two. I love Mark Briscoe. Wow! Mark Briscoe's awesome, man. Shout out to him. We'll pick it up towards the end where Takeshita hit a big suplex on Briscoe, but he nails him with a King Kong lariat for a close 2 count. Callis gets up from commentary and cheers his guy on. Mark with the underkicks to Konosuke fights out. They trade forearms in the middle of the ring. Snap suplex, trading exploded suplexes. Then Takeshita hits him with the knee for a 2 count. And then he gets the underhooks and hits the J-Gorilla. But he has his foot on the ropes. He slips out. Then he hits the rolling elbow. And then he wins with the Raging Fire. And then the Death Riders answer Rated FTR's challenge in a promo package. Wheeler Yuta calls out Adam Copeland for trying to stop him from his family. Claudio calls them pathetic for infighting and hissy fits, and Pac, the bastard, says that their arrogance is hard to stomach and that they don't have the audacity. They have the audacity to challenge them. No, at AEW Dynasty, it's them who will challenge Rated FTR to survive the Death Riders. And then they went to break. They came back, and then Lashley and the Hurt Syndicate had a thing. Talked about MJF, and then we had Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford versus Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm, the Thunderstorm. And at the end of this, Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford win with the Fates' descent on Toni Storm, and their heels stand tall. Wow. Which means I don't like Megan Bayne's chances of beating Toni Storm. And now that's a big girl. Megan Bayne is a big girl. She's a big girl. She's a strong girl. Shout out to Megan. And she can go. Megan Bayne can wrestle, y'all. She's nice. So shout out to her. And she was, Penelope Ford was hugging Megan Bayne very awkwardly. A lot of awkward hugs and all this nonsense. But she beat her. Which means she definitely ain't winning at the pay-per-view. Not happening.
Nope.
So that was your AEW Dynamite. We had some good, we had some bad, but at the end of the day, we got to tighten up on our stories. We got to get better. AEW, we got to get better. But as for me, I'm getting better every day. And I'm out. That's it. It's over. Peace. So I will catch y'all on the next one. We got SmackDown tomorrow. I might actually go live right after the show for that. So look out for that. I am going to start going live and actually being live instead of going live, have scheduled lives. So look out for that, y'all, because it's coming. Just working out some kinks. As for me, I am out. Wrestling community, let's get it together.